Amazing agent, 48 transactions, single mom, single agent, killed it in 2020. I am so excited for our guest today. Good morning and welcome to another Real Talk Live with Rima. Today, my special guest, amazing friend that I look up to her so much. She's an inspiration to so many women, including myself. She's a go-getter, bold, fierce, and she has a heart of gold. Sahar, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you for the warm introduction. You just made it look so good. I love Rima.
Well, you are good, honey. I'm not making it up. You are an amazing, amazing human being, and I'm so blessed to have you as a friend as well.
Thank you. Me too.
So, Sahar, tell us a little bit about your background first.
A little bit about me. I came to this career just by chance. I got my real estate license way before I started with KW, just for investment purposes. And I was at the cross path 4 years ago, and I went through a divorce. And through pain, I guess you find a lot of opportunities. And I decided to pursue this instead of going back to my original career, which is engineering. And that will give me some flexibility to be around my kids. As everybody knows, my kids are my life, and they're my big why. So I walked into KW and I told them, hey, I want to sign up for whatever training, whatever you need, and signed up for Ignite, I think, first, and then Bold, and then Mastery, and I kept going and going and going.
And I know you've been in this business for 3 years, correct?
With KW for 3 years, yes.
Were you with any other company before?
No, I just got it for just information purposes for investments before.
So you've been transacting for the last 3 years only?
3 years only.
Only. And I know last year it was so hard on all of us, especially on single women, having kids. You have 3 children.
Yes.
They're all under the age of?
Now 14.
All under the age of 14. Your baby is 7 now?
She's 9 now. She's
9.
7. Yeah,
she's 9. All homeschooling. You had to deal with so much, pulling your hair, a lot of days, and closing 48 transactions, being number 1 agent in your office. Like, I mean, people do that many units with team, and you did it with not even an assistant, with 3 kids at home. Like, I want to ask you, I mean, that's an amazing, amazing volume. How did you do it?
Honestly, I worked the whole year. I didn't take any days off. And I did use a lot of your support, everybody's support. Mostly my kids, I would thank them. They have been very patient with me. They have helped me through the whole year. We put some ground rules. This is the room, even though I don't have even a door in it. They put a note that realtor in session, do not disturb. So when they see me sitting on this desk, they kind of come closely if they need anything. They don't even speak because I'm on the phone 24/7. I mean, as long as I'm sitting here. I worked from 4 in the morning, I start my schedule until 11 at night, midnight, I'm working. So these are the days. And the day I have to find breaks to help them do their schoolwork. And, you have to be flexible. It was chaotic, but I have an amazing coach with KW Maps Coaching. And he taught me how to embrace the chaos. And once you accept it and embrace it, you play and dance around it.
That's amazing. And I know you've been so into coaching, seeking help, seeking opportunities, even with your busy schedule. Like, you're always looking for ways to grow yourself, grow your family, and grow your business, and bring more information and more everything that you can to your clients. You deal mostly with buyers or sellers?
I used to be just, when I started, sellers only. with this market, we've got a lot of buyers. So I'm doing everything. I'm doing sellers and buyers equally. And I only work referrals, as you maybe know. Most of my business is referrals. It's either client referrals or agent to agent referrals. So whoever gets sent to me, they know I'm like a mother. I take care of them, handhold them. So that's the clients I deal with, if it's a buyer or seller. And I help everybody that comes to my plate in any price point from 100 to 1 million. So for me, it's the motivation and the reason when I came to this career is not to be in sales particularly. I wanted to be in service. I wanted to help people. I wanted to change. Yes, we make money, and yes, we make a living out of it, but that was not my drive. My drive was to change the way people look at real estate agents. We're not just salespeople. We're here to help and provide a level of service that's not available everywhere. And that stands out when you're genuine and you work from your heart instead of just working for one goal, which is your paycheck.
Always come from place of contribution. And speaking of, you mentioned all your business comes from mostly referrals. I know you, I mean, we've been friends for a while. We've been blessed 2 years ago to connect through a mutual friend through Facebook. And we met a little bit over a year ago prior to COVID. So I know you're huge on relationships. And I know you built such an amazing business based on relationships only. So can you tell us a little bit, how do you do that? Like, how do you get so much business from just making relationships? Like, what do you do different?
So what do I do different? When I connect with an agent, I'm providing as well a service for them. If it's not me as helping them, I'll find them somebody that helps them. I save their contact as how I connected with them, and it's all, it's being on top of mind. So I follow up with them if they found the help. If they didn't find the help, connect them with somebody that can help. If it's me or somebody else, I keep them updated. People like, and even in our business, agent to agent, not clients, people like that you follow up and you give them updates on their clients. I connected with more than maybe 150 agents last year to help their clients. We closed about 50, 48 made it to the closing table, but the rest, they, for whatever reason, they moved somewhere else, or they ended up not selling, or something happens. But the agent themselves, I keep in touch with them. So I service the agent as well as their client or family or friend. And I save them in my database as a networking. If somebody needs somebody in their area, I'll connect them behind the scenes. So they kind of start coming to me directly. Hey, who do you know in this area? Who do you know in this area? And that's how you build your network, by providing, as we said, coming from contribution, not just for that client that you're helping, but for the agent themselves, supporting to grow their business as well.
Win-win.
Win-win. Or no deal.
Win-win or no deal. That's the name of the game. And again, I know your kids are your biggest motivation. I see your family room behind you. Can you tell us how you did it through COVID? Like, I used to call you all the time, and I know how it all happened, but I want to kind of the audience kind of relate of how you did that many transactions, having your kids right there, no door even, and nothing, and noises around you, and you went and got it, and you made it happen.
So yes, I used to have an office, and that office transformed to a gym now. It's a transformation. So that became a gym because it's next to my kids' room. And that office, the kids' room now became their homeschooling. So they have computers in each room, and they talk to their teachers, and they're live on Zoom or their classes. So that would not work because it's loud all day long. So I had to move my office from my regular office and made it as a gym, home gym. And then I picked the room that's farthest to them, which is either inside my bedroom, or I had a small sunroom that was my daughter's toys room. So I put, a desk next to my daughter's desk, and I started working from here. And unfortunately, it didn't have a door. So it was kind of a transition to teach the kids, hey, this is, I don't have a door. You guys close your doors when you're in class. I don't have a door, but you need to start respecting. With time, it worked that now when they come to this side of the house, we call it this side of the house, I have one story. They are just on their quieter, because they know I'm working. And if they need anything, they come quietly and they ask me. Mostly if they see me on Zoom, we are lucky that we are in a business with families, and it's everybody has kids and everybody was going through the same thing. So it was not an embarrassment if my kids are around or they're making noise or they see them on Zoom asking me a question about homework, because everybody was dealing with the same thing. So I didn't take that to limit me, to work. I took it as, what, let's have fun with it, let's make it work. And just being transparent and natural with your clients, I think that make us human, and people love to work with human beings.
And that's what's so amazing. And a lot of us kind of like shied away from like, oh, we're home, oh, we cannot do this, we cannot do that. And some people kind of like blew it up in 2020, especially real estate agents. And some people, they were suffering because they did not adapt to the changes. And again, with 3 kids and homeschooling and having classes at home and doing what you did. So it's amazing.
Let me go and stress a little bit about that. Just knowing a little bit about my background, go back a little bit in history about adaptability. I didn't come, to this point in life and to this country just by chance. It's you fight for it and you adapt with the situation that you get into. First coming to this country was a path for me to get outside of where I used to live, because I wanted a better life for myself and better future. And I was raised by an amazing parents, but the lifestyle that they lived, I didn't see myself living it. So I wanted a change. And, I took the ride with NASA to come to this country, and it was a vehicle for me to get here, and did the engineering with them. And then when that went sideways and I stayed home with my kids because they were number one choice for me over my career. And then, life happens again. You adapt, when you're adaptable in all these scenarios, it's a product and you become that person. So anything that hits you, if a bus hits you, you get up and keep running, what is, you have a scar, who cares?
100%. And before we started talking, before we went live, you had some notes. Can you show us those notes?
That's my big why. I have a lot of them, but these are my big why. You
have them all over the windows, all over the glass door behind you.
Yes, I have them. So it's reality is I'm a mother with 3 kids first, and then I'm a realtor that helps people, and I'm a friend. I'm a daughter. I'm all these things at once.
Yeah. Well, you're amazing in every single one of them, and blessed to have you. I'm going to tear up here. So, going to real estate, little bit about, you are Houston, Texas. You're located in Houston, and we know a lot of people from all areas that are moving to Texas, especially California. We're seeing a lot of our clients, a lot of people that we talk to, Texas, not necessarily Houston, but Texas in general. What are you seeing right now in your end of the state? What's happening in your market? I know it's crazy market everywhere. I know we have low to no inventory in some areas. And just tell us a little bit about what you're seeing with your buyers. Are you still working more buyers now than sellers?
Yes, I work them all, but as soon as we get a seller, we put it on the market within the first weekend, it's gone. We can call it a day, the first day on the market. I just try to keep the sellers on the market for the first weekend so they can get the highest possible they can net, because I'm not looking for shortcuts. I always promise my seller, I'm going to, give you the chance to get the highest of this market. And at one point we had like 52 offers on one of my listings, and my seller met their goal and they get cash offer, but we kept it going just in case, you never know. So that is on the selling side. So whatever we list on the listing side is going within the first weekend. On the buy side, what I'm seeing is that a lot of people are moving from California. A lot of people are moving from the Northeast as well, and the northern part of the country. And the reason why behind it, because of the new life and virtual work, people are looking for places that are warm, no state tax that we have in Texas is a draw also, and they want places that they can live and grow a family with a means that they have. So in California, for something less than 500 or 400, it will not. They cannot buy something decent. Here, they can buy a 2,500 square foot home, an average home in the Texas area. So people, they come and they're like amazed, I can afford a $500,000 home here. I want a pool, I want this, I want that. And that's driving our market really high. And even locals that lived through COVID last year and they didn't have a pool, they want a house with a pool. Another driver is that everybody now is working from home, kind of, unless it's like doctors or something. But when they're working from home, the wife and the husband wants an office. So even locals or people that are coming, they want two offices. We know homes are not built with two offices. They have one office, so they want an extra room. So we're seeing a lot of people, locals as well, are moving to a bigger home. In the past 10 years, people were downsizing.
Right.
Now everybody is upsizing. So that's driving a lot our market, and it's just very hard for us to guarantee. Building process used to take 4 months. Now it's up to 8 months to build a house.
It's similar here, like in California, like you've mentioned, like people kind of like prior to COVID, people were shying away from the big houses, the big yard, the properties that needs a lot of maintenance. They wanted to, because they were working all the time and they were outside the house all the time. And when COVID hit, everybody now wants a larger property. Everybody wants their entertainment backyard and as much room as they can get in the property, which is that was way the opposite prior to COVID.
Exactly.
So it's similar here as well. And what about the price point? What's the most challenging price point that you see in your area?
Less than 400, and then it gets tricky between 200 and 300. If you're not a cash buyer, just forget it. Less than 400, you have a lot of offers, but between 200 and 300, it's cash or no deal.
Crazy. And with all this craziness, I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, and you had 15 ongoing escrows going.
Yes, I did.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Were they on the buyer's side or on the seller's side?
I had 4 sellers and the rest buy.
Wow. With this crazy market, you managed to put your buyers in escrow.
I did. It's the negotiation, and I have it in my buyer consults now. I have it included in my buyer consults. People do 15 minutes buyer consult. I do them 45 to a minute to an hour buyer consult. I take my sweet time in that. I think this is the foundation of our work together. And I need them to understand A to Z in the buying process, what to expect out of me, what their needs are. Of course, I write them all down. That's number one. But also what to expect from this market, that you're not going to get everything you want. You're going to get the needs that you need, and you're going to have to accept all the cosmetic stuff, because the unicorn doesn't exist in this market.
True.
So we talk about it, and then we talk about a plan, how we're going to accomplish our goal and what to be ready for. We talk about their financial situation, not just usually I connect them with lenders, and once they get a pre-approval, now I'm asking them, how much do they have in savings? If we're going to go into a bidding war, how much can we do? What we're going to be ready for. So I kind of tell them that if it's a first-time home buyers, I put them on a portal as well. At that point, when I'm talking to them, I put them on a portal and let them see how the market is rotating. Because once they see the homes are coming in, leaving, they're going to know that this is, I'm not, because I'm not going to pressure them to buy anything. unless they're ready to buy. But if you want a house, this is how I'm going to get you there.
Yeah. And the reason I asked that, because we're seeing, I mean, a lot of agents are struggling. A lot of agents are getting frustrated and discouraged because, again, it's a competitive market. Offers are not getting accepted. And just wanted to kind of like, whoever's struggling out there, especially new agents, to kind of hear you on what you're doing to get over that hurdle. Because I feel like, especially now, we have to work 5 times harder than we did prior to COVID because of the lack of inventory. And the buyer's consultation and the communication is key now, because if you're not communicating, because whether it's us or you guys, we have lots of motivated buyers. Let's go. Like, we're ready. We're approved, ready to go. But they don't understand the depth of the market and what's going on. And that's when the knowledge and the buyer's consultation come. Yes.
And when you work, there's two things if we want to help other agents that are watching. One, if you're not working on the seller side, get into your office, your broker, somebody that, you know, get with them and see what they are receiving as offers and what are they picking as offers. How are the sellers thinking in this market? I would always say that. For me, because I'm working with sellers all the time, so I know what they're looking for. But for an agent that's struggling to put and win offers, I would say get with the seller's agent, see what they're getting as far as offers and how you can stand out among those. Because every market is different. Like, we're going over 10% in our market over list price. And what I'm doing is I'm gapping appraisal between, you know, the price of what is listed to the price that I'm putting. I'm gapping that appraisal. But before you do all that, reach out to the agent that listed. Ask them, do they have cash offers? Tell your client, you know, against the cash offer, your chances are very low what to expect, because mostly sellers are picking cash offers, because you can go with a lender and financing and anything can happen during that process. People can lose their jobs. And that's an advice we give our sellers, right? People can lose their jobs, financing, even if you got appraisal and they can guarantee that they're getting more money or waive all the appraisal contingency. If people lost their job, you're 30 days into the transaction and you are going to start all over again. So sellers want that peace of mind when they're going into that. So if they don't have a cash offer, then we have a chance. And then there's all these, of course, we're helping VAs. They served our country and we want to help them get there. You know, how can we make them stand out? You know, Hartford letters, stuff like that. But also we have to be very realistic. At the end of the day, not every seller will look. I had a seller just last month looked at all these Hartford letters. In the past 2 months, my sellers did not look. They just want to cash out. So every person is different. We're dealing with humans. The people that are selling their homes are human beings, and everybody is different. We cannot generalize, but your odds, know your odds among the game. You have to play that game.
Right. Just seek the motivation of the seller and what they're asking for, what they're looking for, the terms, because sometimes I always say the highest offer is not always the best offer. Mm-hmm. So you have to educate the seller on that as well as you educate the buyer on what's going on in the market. What's going on? Go ahead.
You ask the agent that you're sending an offer, if you can get them on the phone, of course. You ask them what are their sellers looking for, you know. If they need the lease back, you can make it easy for them. You know, in this market, remember, we can't even do contingency. And last month I closed Kathy. Kathy was buying in Friends with $1 million home. They did a contingency. They accepted their contingency from Dallas. And the only reason they accepted it because we gave them, it's my buyer, we gave them 3 months lease back. 3 months. They were in the green card.
So that's why I was gonna ask you about contingent offers and how you guys dealing with that in your end of the world.
Yeah. We're dealing with it. If it's contingent, we're going to go to the seller and see what we can make, anything that we can make him happy so he can accept. And most of the time, sellers, especially with homes and kids, they want lease backs. These have been winning with us. When we give them as much as they want in a lease back, especially when kids are transitioning and people are trying to buy a house when they sell a house. So if they can guarantee that they're going to cash out in a month, you know, and they're going to stay in the house. In Texas, we are allowed 90 days temporary lease back in our contracts. So they're getting that 90 days. And in that 90 days, they're buying somewhere else and they're moving forward. But they already cashed out and they become a tenant in their house, their own home.
Are you talking about free rent back or?
You can put anything you want on that. Usually, if you are in a bidding war, you want to make it so easy for the seller. So what I recommend always is just doing a deposit with the minimum fee, because we're not looking to make money out of that rent. But the deposit is important because if anything goes wrong between the closing and they move out, you have kind of a deposit to hold back so they can keep the house in a good condition.
And I know the beginning of the year, you guys had big freeze, and you had so many people scared, and you had many escrows that fell because of that, and you did it again. You rebound and you start putting people in escrow. How did that affect the market, or did that affect the market at all?
I think with just the homes, everything that people were working, it's like any natural disaster. You guys have fires, we have hurricanes. This wasn't new to us. So when any disaster that happens, and when it happens, it affects all our homes. So everything that was under contract or coming to the market, all these got stalled because we had problems in the house. We had pipes that burst. Our homes are not built for this temperature. So everything busted. And then you had to call people to help you. But then the plumbers, all the contractors, everybody was busy. So the homes were with busted pipes and broken, like the sheetrock. I still have a cellar that has been paused for 2 months that are you still there? You're frozen, Rima. Rima.
I'm not sure if it's me or you.
It's frozen. Yeah, I just saw you. So yeah, let me recap. All these sellers that had problems with their homes and we were under contract, people had to do a re-inspection. People have to reassess the house. People changed their mind because the way it's repaired, it's not good. The appraisal had to come back out. So even with loans, appraisal has to come back out and make sure the house is in a condition to close the loan. So we had to do the deals that we had. I had at that point, I think 13 escrows. All of them we had to do the work again. So re-inspect, reappraise, and go back to closing. So it kind of stalled us a little bit, pushed, that 3-4 days freeze, it pushed us a month in work volume. But, everybody got to their goals, and people are still fixing homes that have busted pipes because it just flooded their whole downstairs. If they have 2-story, it flooded their home like a flood. If you were not home and you didn't watch the water running, it's kind of like a flooding water got into your home and messed up the whole house.
But you don't see it affected the value of homes or the marketplace whatsoever.
No, not the value of the house, no. Yeah, it's just the work, you have to disclose all these things. So now all the seller disclosure has to say, it had that, and it was repaired, give me receipts, so you can show the work. It's just some buyers didn't like the way that the sellers repaired it. So we had to put it back on the market, go back under with another buyer.
Got it. And where do you see the most buyers coming to Houston?
California.
That's the number one?
Number one.
Everybody's leaving us. What's wrong?
California is the number one among everybody, but we have a good, mix between areas. But California, I would say 5-1, 5 buyers. Yeah, 5 out of 5. Like 5 out of the buyers that I have would be 5-1 ratio. So every 5 California,
Wow.
then I have 1 from somewhere else.
Wow. And do you know if it's LA area or is it up north? I'm gonna go after them. I'm getting somewhere there.
It's widespread. From like today, I'm showing another agent. Actually, even agents are moving. It's from Sacramento, San Francisco, LA, San Diego. Everywhere. They're just coming here. They're just leaving. I don't know. They're leaving the politics. I don't know much about politics, but they're leaving politics. They're leaving the expensive lifestyle. That's what they tell me. Because the first question, why are you coming? Or their job now is more virtual and they can work from anywhere and they're just done from the super pricey areas and they want to here is more affordability to them.
Right.
And there is one big difference if you want to tell also your sellers that are trying to move here is that we have property tax that's higher than you guys, and that you should take into consideration before you think, hey, I can buy a $300,000 or $400,000 property. Because once you get to the bones of it and to the loan, you're not going to get approved for 400, 500 that you get approved in California. It's going to come down less because our property tax is almost double yours.
Right. And that's what I actually, thank you for bringing that up, because I was going to bring that up as well. Yes. Because people think that price point is a couple $100,000 cheaper versus you have to deal with taxes. That's not going to go away, whether the interest rate goes up or down.
Yeah, that is always going to be there. Our property tax, the client I was showing yesterday, she's an agent, so she knows the taxes and all that stuff. And she was shocked. We were looking at areas where 3.7 is the property tax, and she's like, wow,
Wow.
And I know, and she's like, we pay 1 point something in California. And I'm like, yeah, there's areas here which is 2.2 in the rural areas in Houston, but there is, it's mostly, I'd say, average between 2.5 and 3.5,
which is high. Got it. So what's the goal this year for Sahar?
Leverage.
And you should. We'd always talk about that.
Leverage. I wouldn't say numbers. I would say leverage, because I want to help people. Like, I'm getting a lot of more people this year, and I'm blessed with people that last year I helped. They keep sending me more friends and more. So it's growing. If it's the second year and I did that much, this is now, it's just growing. It keeps growing. So I want to help everybody. I don't want to at one point say, hey, I can't help your family or friend or client. I want to help everybody, but to be able to help everybody, I need to be able to free my time from the, like the stuff that are back, the back end stuff, the marketing, the emails, the scheduling, all that.
You are all of it. You're all of it.
Now I'm one hat.
I don't know how you do it, but it's
all in my brain. Even my PC asked me, Sahar, how do you remember everything? It's all in my brain. That's my database. It's all in my brain, and my brain is getting fried.
Yeah, and doing that volume, that much, 48 transactions by yourself, doing everything. You only have a TC, transaction coordinator. And imagine if you have at least a full-time assistant, what does that to you, to your business, to your client, and to your life? So, yes. I mean, I was in that place for so many years, and I totally know how it feels. And it just, no matter how good you are, you're going to get to a cap that's like, you're going to hit a ceiling yes. that you cannot go over it unless you have that leverage and you have that help.
Exactly. So this is my goal this year, is leverage. So I can grow with work, and then I can have a better quality of life with my kids, because they have been patient, but they deserve their mom to be sitting with them at dinner table without the phone. And they deserve their mom to be running, and doing activities with them, and not be like, wait 1 second, I have this, I have to take this, I need to do that. So, I mean, they've been very patient. I'm blessed with them, but the time block, that's something I need to do better job at. That's my improvement this year. It needs to, I need to do more in the time blocking zone.
What do you like to do for fun?
What do I like to do for fun? Talk to you. I like to spend time with my kids. I like to hang out with my friends, and simply sometimes just sit in bed and zone out at the end of the day. That can be calming and relaxing. And if it's not COVID, I like to travel. That's my number one. I love to travel overseas. When I say travel, overseas.
And you like working out to work out. You work out all the time as well.
Yeah, that's not fun. This is discipline. This is like drinking water. For us, this is like drinking water. You wake up, you don't work out. If you don't work out, you don't wake up.
What would you, for anyone who's challenged in today's market, any agents out there, what would be your advice, your suggestion, or for brand new agent that they're starting out, what would the number one thing that they should be doing today?
Try all outlets. Attempt, I don't know, because we say do not try, there is no try involved. Attempt at everything, find all the approaches. For new agents is different, or who's struggling. So who's a newer agent, I say there is millions of ways of doing business. People are cold calling, people are knocking doors, everybody has, try them all out, attempt them all out, find your niche, what you're good at, and go after it. Once you perfect it, try something else, add, keep adding. Just don't give up. You need to try everything. You need to attempt at least every way of doing business. If you don't know anything, find somebody that has been doing well, and it's like training. Go with them and let them be your mentor and learn from them. Because in this business, we don't have any training in the sense of training how to do. So just find a mentor and shadow them and try to learn from them, because that's what's gonna, who you hang out around is gonna be a reflection who you're gonna be.
Yes, have discipline and hang out with the right people. We are in the best business, in the best industry. We are blessed to help our communities, to help buyers and sellers, and it's the most rewarding for me. I'm sure for you, it's the most rewarding opportunity that we are in, and it's so I love my clients. We talk about that all the time. You love your clients too. And like you mentioned, this is not a sales. This is a lifetime relationship that we create and we change on a daily basis, and it's phenomenal. I don't see myself doing anything else.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes when we started, sometimes you fall into places in life without being planned, but then you end up knowing the reason why God put you in that place, because it's the right place for you and you're going to do amazing things. So I
100%.
believe I got into real estate for a reason. It's just brought the best out of me, that caring, genuine person that people need in this business. They need somebody that cares for them more than what they're trying to sell, because we're not selling cars, we're selling homes. They have memories in them, they're attached to them. You can't just walk in and out and it's a transaction. So you need to hold their hand, and that shows a lot in our business. If you really are a caring person, if you're genuine, it shows a lot. It makes you stand out among everybody else.
And it grows, this industry grows you and it changes you, not just within the real estate, just you change as a person, as a human being, and it's amazing. And I know you have appointments, and I don't want to take too much out of your time. Anything you would like to add today?
I would just say one thing. I want to end this call by saying thank you to our friends and mostly our referral partners everywhere, because they're watching us now or later. Special thank you for everybody that has been supporting us to grow, and my coach as well with maps, and my kids. They're gonna watch it. Just thank you. I wouldn't have been here without you guys.
Well, we thank you, and keep rocking it, keep killing it, and love you, Sahar. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me as well.
And have a good Friday, and go open more escrows, honey. Help more families.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. I'll watch you soon. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.